I don't even know why. I don't know what I did to deserve this. I have no idea what I did wrong. And I've realized after getting this video from Trisha that I won't be able to move on until I let people know what happened and what she did to me and how it made me feel.
When like him, he starts bleeding everywhere.
You guys, I think I was wrong. So wrong. Welcome to my channel. So I have defended Nikocado Avocado in the past, and today Stephanie Sue, a mukbanger, released a video talking about him and just kind of not exposing him. I mean, she kind of exposed him, but saying how uncomfortable he has made her feel, that he's basically blackmailed her. She didn't use that term, so allegedly. And just how awful he was to her and how he kind of took her power away and made her feel like no wasn't good enough when it always should be. And it's just awful, and it makes me feel like maybe Trisha wasn't wrong. Maybe the reason Trisha's friends with him now is because we all kind of manipulated her into thinking that Nick was normal and fine. It really sucks because I really like Nick, or I liked him and I liked his content, but all these red flags are now showing to me, like everything that kind of, I don't know about that I realized in the past is kind of like connecting for me now. And that's really disappointing. So I just want to share some of the stuff that I've seen and heard from him in the past that kind of set off alarms in my head, but I just ignored because I don't know him and he's not going to hurt me personally. He doesn't know me, I don't know him, so I never really had to care. But I think it's unfair for someone who will abuse people to have the power he has. So I just figured we could talk about it. So yeah, let's get into it. So the whole thing with Trisha Paytas, I sided with Nick because Trisha just ghosted him, and instead of realizing that she has a right to not talk to him if she doesn't want to, I still defended Nick. And looking back now at that, there was a lot of things that I feel like we should have stood up for Trisha, which is not something we say often, or not something I say often. The way that he kept messaging her over and over and over again, not taking the hint, the way that he kind of just was rude to her privately. Well, I think he was rude anyway. Just the way that he behaved in that situation, how he exposed her 2 years later after after he had a reason to finally expose her when she did the cameo or whatever. Just the way that all happened, and I feel like he needed to make the situation in his favor, which is why he waited so long. I feel like he wanted to be powerful, and that's when he wanted to, you know, come back at her, because doing that at 50,000 subscribers could just ruin you or could make you, but why risk that? So I feel like that's why he waited so long to do it, and that's kind of just awful. With Stephanie, he kind of just manipulated the situation with the whole Veronica Wang and Shook Bang thing, trying to make her like say bad things about them on camera when she said she didn't want to, and then like asking her on camera. Like, how awkward is that? Literally, like, the camera's in your face, and obviously it's not live, but just like to do that on camera. And just the way that he made her feel, the way he's taken things that she said and made her feel like he's gonna expose those things to the world, and those things were said in private, and there was no reason for him to ever even threaten to do that. He has people now making fun of her because they don't know the whole story, and I hope they feel like shit about it. If you don't know all that, then you have to watch Stephanie's video. Like, I would suggest watching it. But let's just get into the stuff that I've seen from Nick from watching a lot of his videos and almost all of his live streams. So yeah. So I first started watching Nick like a year and a half ago, and he would upload his meltdowns and stuff, and I didn't really watch those. I might flip through them and just see what they were about, but I never really cared to see that. I was there to watch him eat food because I wasn't eating a lot of food. Not like starving myself or anything, but like I wasn't eating bad food. So to watch him eat some like McDonald's or Sonic was just heaven for me while I walk on the treadmill. So yeah, so I watched him, and I liked his story times and things like that. But then I started to see just this raunchy side of him, and it's fine, like, if that's your thing, like, that's Trisha's thing. That's a lot of people's thing. It's not my thing. It kind of makes me uncomfortable, but at the same time, I'm an adult and he's an adult, and he says he doesn't make the videos for kids, so whatever if he wants to talk about certain things. But there's some things that he said that just made me very uncomfortable, that I would feel uncomfortable if anyone said it to me. So I watched the video way later into watching his content because someone made a comment about him giving Orlin AIDS. And he didn't give Orlin AIDS as far as I know. So let me say that real fast before anyone takes that out of context. But that made me want to go searching for why someone would say that. So I found a video where he talks about cheating on Orlin, and this was a while ago, and the video is still up. So if you want to watch it, you can. I think Nick had sex with like 8 different men. That could be wrong. So you'd have to watch the video to fact check me. But several men.
Cheated on me with someone in Florida, like a day or 2 after you arrived to Florida, right?
Yeah. Oh, my heart!
He actually vlogged, he made a vlog, and he went into like a house, and it turns out that that house was a house he went into to have a hookup with somebody else. And did you have another one? Well, you double dipped and you had a mutual friend.
There was like 4 or 5 in DC.
4 or 5, yeah.
Dude, I was like, whoa! Oh, God. Okay. And then New York, there was like 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time I got to London, I was just...
You tried to get like 2 in London, but it didn't work out.
Now, I believe that him and Orlin were taking a break, but when you're married to someone and you take a break, that is different than taking a break in a dating situation. And I feel like it's the same, but I could see where in a dating situation you take a break and someone might think you could step away, but in a marriage you just don't do that. Now, I've heard Nick say that he has an open marriage, and I'm not here to judge anyone's marriage and what works for them, but I don't think it works for Orlin. And the way Orlin acts in the videos where he talks about certain things and you get a vibe from Orlin that he's not okay with it.
Don't even say anything about it.
Okay, let's be fair. I didn't even tell him. I just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's to me that's hot because I felt like if I just do it behind his back, it's kind of a turn on.
See, why is this like dancing? And I'm supposed to, man, this is why I'm very confused about what we're doing with this relationship. Because like, he got so mad at me, he's like, you cheated on me. I'm like, but you told me to. And like, do you like it or do you not like it? And we don't know. See, I'm over here like, and I'm also really mad at you. Because I felt like you should have at least told me.
I like it and I don't. You know, I get jealous and possessive, but then I like it because I just...
And that he has to be okay with it because Nick is happy with it. And that's how it's going to work with Nick, is if he can have more. And it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me really uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable when they talk about it, when he brings his poor husband online to cry with them.
Sorry, you said no. But that's what kills me. That's what kills me, that you don't think I'm good inside. You don't think you're anymore. You don't. You don't.
I think we need therapy.
Like they cry together about breaking up and stuff, and when he wants to talk about having sex with other men online, like if you're gonna have an open relationship, just keep it to yourself. And there was this one video that he posted where he's like walking on the treadmill with his boxers and you can like see his junk moving around. It's just inappropriate, because even if your content is not all for kids, there's kids on Instagram, and you might want to make the fight that like, well, girls can move their boobs around. I don't want to see that crap either. So I'm not biased. I don't want to see anyone's junk moving around anywhere. Anyway, just with this whole relationship, and like I said, I'm not here to judge his relationship, but the red flags with how they are in this relationship, how they throw things at each other and they're fighting all the time, and it's like I'm constantly hearing that they're arguing and fighting in a marriage is normal, and taking a break isn't necessarily normal, but sometimes taking a break that isn't provoked by like fighting and stuff, like just me going out of town for a week because I need just a life break from like, you know, being a stay-at-home mom and from having to clean and do this and that and like taking a few days to myself, cool. But to take like a marriage break, like because you're arguing and fighting, I feel like isn't normal to do often. I feel like that's very toxic. It just, from what he says in his videos and what he describes, I feel like his relationship is toxic. And being in a toxic relationship, the way that he says what he does to Orlin, I feel like that's how he treats friends. That's my whole point, is that if you can treat someone that's supposed to be that special to you the way he treats Orlin, then how are you going to treat other people that you're not married to? if that makes sense. So there's that. I wish I would have wrote down over time everything that I've seen, because there's so much more, but I'm having a hard time just remembering everything.
At his arm because he said he would rather die than live with me. I remember it so clearly. Can I just say, I am not having it today. I am not having it today. Today, Missy Two Shoes. You people on my Instagram, first of all, it is a privilege. P-R-I-V-E-L-E-G. Privilege to be there. Bye-bye. 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 I am not having it today. I don't even know you. Why do you care about me? Get out of my business.
But it's just, there were flags. There were things that were making me uncomfortable that I just ignored, and I am so disappointed to see that he has done this to Stephanie. And obviously he didn't physically hurt her or anything like that, but what he did was just make it harder for her to trust anyone else. And to know someone has already lost trust with 99% of the world, and then to insert yourself in their life and then ruin that again for them, it's just an awful thing to do. It's just awful. What he's doing is awful. He's being manipulative. He is predatory. He might not be a predator, but he's definitely predatory in his behavior, and it's just inappropriate. It's sad. It's inappropriate. It makes me upset. If you guys know anything else, you've seen anything else, other stuff that has kind of bothered you about him, things that you've seen, opinions, anything you want to share, just let me know. I just feel really bad for Stephanie, and I didn't want to make like a whole video just saying everything that she said, because that's what I was gonna do. I took a bunch of notes, but you could just watch her video. But the main part of it is just that Nick just was awful to her. And so I feel really bad for her, and I hope that she can just come back and be positive and not have to worry about him. I hope that Nick doesn't try to like come back with a bunch of receipts about her, which I don't think he would have, because Stephanie's great. But we shall see. It's just, I don't know why everyone has to be so awful. I just don't get it.